Good morning, good day and good evening. How are you doing, ladies and gentlemen? On this very fine Wednesday. Hope you're having a good day so far. I'm doing quite good. Did get a little bit of work done here before I started the stream. So far so good, been working on some more puzzles. First and foremost, the first one in today, none other than Strom. Absolutely legit, no spawn camping whatsoever, I promise. We also, technically we had Grievance first actually, but that was like an hour too early or something. But officially, second place we have Fuzzlings, and third we have Grievance. Welcome in, guys. We also have Teabag Beercan in here. We have Codin, Bem-vindo. We have Spectacular, good to see you, mate. Nymph, welcome in. We also have Keita and Dark Muppeteer coming in. How you doing, guys? Good to have ya. It is Wednesday, my dude. It is indeed. More marble maps. We should make it at some point, but no. I've been working on Shroud of Gloom, my little side project. Lupo and Luasoft, welcome in as well. Doing good, went to the gym in the morning, felt I had to do something about the lack of energy, not too shabby, man. Let's go. I definitely need to move a bit more. I do have a cross trainer in my apartment, but I probably should use it a little bit more often than I do at the moment. Agmotic, nice to have you as well, hope you're doing good. Nice trailer, I clicked on the stream and wasn't paying attention, I thought it was a legit ad until I looked back up and saw your logo. That is quite funny, thank you very much, man. I am quite happy with it. I think it turned out pretty good. Grievance with the 25 stream streak, that is actually pretty insane. 25 stream streaks, that's like fucking... What, that's like 2 months without missing a single stream or something? Pretty fucking, pretty mad. Very much appreciated. Josh, welcome in as well. We have TechBots in the house. God kväll, how you doing? I'd run in cross-trainer for 15 years, but my legs have gone sore recently, so I'm trying the rowing machine now. Okay, nice. Since I started showing up, absolute legend, man. 25 is solid, it's real fucking solid. Yeah, so overall with Shroud of Gloom, it is going quite well. It's annoying, I've been a little bit in this zone where a lot of my time recently has gone to planning. Like, you know, planning out the story of the game, the progression of the game, like the flow, as in like when you should do which puzzle, when you should get to which room, etc, etc. Made a whole fucking flow chart out of it, but it's one of them like slightly annoying things because it doesn't feel as practical or like as it doesn't feel like you're as productive as when you're like hands-on working on the game. However, I do think it is very important, and I actually feel a lot less stressed out and a lot better about the work I have to do, having this be a little bit more planned out. I think the current idea I have for the game is pretty good actually. I feel like this is gonna be quite nice. There are some interesting changes that will happen though, like some of the puzzles will be moved around yet again. So I'm gonna say the thing I'm actually the most concerned about at the moment is actually the early part of the game, which I don't know if I'm gonna have to... Like right now I almost feel like the quality of like the last 70% of the game or so is going to be quite a lot better. Like it's gonna be this type of thing where, you know, the game starts off fairly linear and then kinda opens up as you progress. But I'm also planning to move a few puzzles from the first part of the game into a later part of the game. So I think I'm gonna have to come up with a bit more interesting stuff like early on, Because obviously the introduction to the game is fairly important for first impressions and for getting people hooked and so on. And this is something I've spoken about before. In terms of like the outside areas of the game, I actually think we could make some improvements where, like right now, I don't know if the start of the game is that interesting. Mainly because the outside areas of the house is like fairly empty. Like there's only like 1 or 2 things in each scene. And as of like how it looks right now, it's basically going to take you quite a while before you find like the first of the mechanical puzzles and so on. So I don't know, maybe if I should try and get one of those earlier in the game as well, to kind of better show off what there is to come, so to speak. First interactions were sub, follow, comment. I'm here for it. I believe, Chirpy. I believe. Thank you very much. Yeah. Also, the absolute legend subscribes before he even follows the channel. That's fucking dedication, man. I had the same feeling when I was thinking about story or looking at Pinterest posts or thinking about of mechanics and features, but those are still important parts. Yes, they definitely are. Pons, welcome in, man. And that's the funny thing, because I know logically that I am being productive. Like, thinking about the design of the game and stuff like this and planning for it is like an important part of the development. But then it's like the non-logical part of me, like, you know, more emotionally speaking or whatever. It's funny because I notice how I don't feel as productive when I do it, just because there's nothing like truly hands-on to show for the time I put into just thinking, right? But obviously, like long term, it's gonna help me out a lot and make me more productive and so on. But it is one of those interesting things where it's definitely needed. It definitely is important, and logically, I understand that, you know, it by no means is a waste of time. It's like restructuring code. You need to fix the base before building taller. Yeah, exactly. I think that's a good. I think you could say that refactoring is a little bit similar in the sense of that, like, it doesn't feel like you're actually progressing the game because the game kind of stays the same, but obviously it might make you way more productive long term. Like, imagine if I didn't do the massive refactor of the interactable system after the game jam. Like, every single thing I would have implemented after would have taken me like 2-3 times as long. So it is that kind of thing where you definitely, you reap the benefits a little bit later on, so to speak. Always thinking of the game, yeah. My wife gets annoyed that I never stop thinking about the game, yeah. I don't know, it is difficult though. It's very difficult turning that part of your brain off. Because, you know, especially now since, like, this is almost all I do, right? Like, I continuously work on my game, like, day in and day out. And it does get, like, unironically, it does get a little bit tricky, like, you know, taking a moment to just stop and be like, I'm not gonna think about the game right now, you know. That is actually the case. But I do feel like I said, I feel like the plan I have so far is definitely quite good. I think there's like maybe 1, 2, 3 sections or something, where maybe 4 where I need to come up with some more puzzles and so on. But I feel quite good about this. I also think it's possible that I'm going to lock down the game a little bit more in the beginning. Because right now the game starts off fairly open, and I feel sometimes like that can actually cause players to be... It's easier to get a bit lost, not understand what you need to do, and so on. To where I feel like... Because the game is actually... Like, you have access to quite a lot of the rooms from the get-go. And I feel like it might make the start of the game a little bit more straightforward if I kinda locked it down a little bit more. Obviously, it would end up feeling a little bit more linear in the beginning, but I don't know if that would actually be bad. Like, focus on making the beginning of the game kinda as tight as possible, if that makes sense. And then we can, like, more successively open up the game. Because right now it's almost like as soon as you get into the manor, you can explore like... Obviously you can't go down in the basement, but you can explore like 80% of the top floors almost straight from the bat. Which I don't know, maybe if that is... I don't know if that's really necessary. Like, I think it might even be a benefit to kinda limit the exploration more in the beginning, because that's also gonna feel like you're progressing more, right? Because there's gonna be more of those moments where like, oh, now I get access to more stuff, now I get access to more rooms. So yeah, it's something I've been considering as well. Like I said, I think I'm gonna move a few puzzles around, and I think it's possible that I'm gonna try to tighten the access a little bit in the beginning to make it a little bit more straightforward. It's not gonna be like a massive difference. I'm not saying that you're only gonna have access to like 2 rooms straight from the bat, but... There's a thin line between passion and obsession. Sometimes it's invisible. Yeah, I certainly think it is for me. I would probably lie if I said I wasn't a little bit obsessed as well. I think a big part of it, like... A lot of people here on Twitch as well have commented that I seem very disciplined because I work on the game so much, and most of the time I stream quite long hours and so on. And in all honesty, I don't think it has anything to do with discipline. I think I'm just very obsessive. If anything, throughout my life, I think I have more proof of me being quite undisciplined. But when I really enjoy something, I have trouble letting go, if you know what I mean. My sign to step back is whenever I dream about my project 2 or more nights in a row, yeah. Yeah, that is funny. I remember one time, a few years back, I got like sick. I don't remember if it was the first time I got COVID, I think. And I ended up like just sitting at home playing Binding of Isaac like all day for like a full-on week or something, and that actually got to the point where towards like the end of that week I was legitimately dreaming about Binding of Isaac, and that's when I was like, okay, I think I need to chill down a little bit. Like, it's going a little bit far now. It feels appropriate to me. How many doors are truly locked once you're inside a house. I think instead you want more reason to backtrack. Yeah. No, and that's why I feel, I don't know, I think there could be an argument that I could lock even more doors in the beginning, in all honesty. I know some people already have commented that like it feels like everything you find is locked at the moment, like at the start, which certainly is the case when you're outside, right? But I don't know. We'll see. Like, this is definitely not anything that is entirely set in stone, but it is something I'm considering. Wait, we're on 75 reviews, nice. We are indeed 25 reviews away from 100, absolutely insane. If anyone has played the demo, of course, make sure to leave a review, it would mean a lot to me. If you haven't played the demo, go and check it out. Damn, you work on your game. I reviewed already, but from a differently named account. Thank you very much, Fuzzlings. The clip where you tell your coded a solution in your sleep. Oh yeah, that was another one. I legitimately dreamt about coding the solution to a problem I had at the time. And I just remember waking up and being like, oh, that's kind of crazy. And I started thinking about like, holy shit, I think that would actually work. I don't think it did in the end. Ironically, I actually don't think it worked out. I think I ended up having to do something else. But at the time, like, it looked as if it would have been an actual solution as well, which was kind of crazy. But I'm fairly certain it didn't. I think I might have been a little bit too quick to judge there. It happens to me more often than I would like to admit. When you're outside, it makes sense. People normally lock up the outside pretty secure. Yeah, inside we lock some doors, and in an old manor you'd lock more. Just not a ton. Yeah, definitely not more than 50% in my opinion. That one is interesting though, because I don't know what you mean by 50%. Do you mean 50% of the doors in the game? Do you mean 50% of the doors you first encounter? Like, that could be read in a few ways, I suppose. Because there's definitely going to be the case that, like, a big part of the house you're not gonna explore straight off the bat. But obviously a lot of doors are a bit where, you know, it's the kind of thing where you might unlock one door, but that gives you access to, like, 3 new rooms or something. Because I definitely think this is something where there is a balance to it, right? Where if, like, it would almost get a little bit stale if, like, every door you encounter ends up being locked. One of the reasons I also don't like it is because it requires a lot of keys, and personally, like, you know, there's a whole theory about how puzzles are like a door and a key, right? However, having it literally be a door and a key too often, I feel like is a little bit annoying. Like, it gets very stale after a while. Like, if every... Like, in the Game Jam demo, for example, obviously smaller, so it's more acceptable, but in that one, every single room, the end result was always you finding a key, unlocking the new door. And, like, if we would have done something like that for a 2-hour game where, like, every piece of progress was you finding a literal key, that would be quite boring in my opinion. Yeah, that's a fair point, T-Vag. The doors inside specifically, or the rooms even more specifically. Depends on how many skeletons you have in your closet. Yeah, I do suppose that is true. Okay, let me close out of some of this spoiler stuff I've been doing. Do I need to save this? Yeah, let's do that. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see, I think we're gonna start off doing a little bit of art, because I think I need some new art. I've been revamping the entire clock of the game over the past couple of days, made the actual puzzle of it a little bit more interesting. I also decided to kind of lock it in some way, because something that resonated with me a little bit, or something that stuck with me, was what Cheetah said before. Which is that most of the time, a lot of the time, it's probably unnecessary showing people puzzles that they can't solve yet. Do you know what I mean? Where I think it's very fine to show them that there might be a puzzle here, or to show that, like, there's something to do here. But showing them the actual puzzle feels a little bit maybe too early to do. And I also think the clock was an annoying one, because it's one of the first puzzles you find. And I actually noticed a surprising amount of players getting a little bit overwhelmed at first when they walked up to the clock, because they realized, like, I don't know what's going on. You haven't, like, had the time to really get into it. So I decided to do some tweaks on that one. But another thing that I would like to do, and which I think we're gonna start off doing today, is actually to redo the art for the safe in the game. Because as of right now, you know how you walk up to the safe? However, when you actually enter the correct combination, you will automatically step back and then open this small version and pick something up. I think I actually want to change this so that the safe will open up here. And then we have, like, a... You know, you can actually see the shelf inside of it. Art indeed. But I don't know how to do that, because right now you are very close to the safe, right? Like, you don't even see the entirety of the door itself. Because the issue is that if I make the door like this, then the numpad is going to be quite small, maybe too small. So I don't know if I actually can show the entire safe. I don't know if that's an actual issue though. Because what I'm thinking is basically that we can make something where when you open up the door, when you unlock the safe, we basically remove this door here, and then you you just see the inside. So let's see, if I'm looking here, you might see like a little bit of this wall. And then we just do like a shelf or whatever. So that maybe you just see like one of the shelves inside of the safe, if you know what I mean. I feel like something like that might work, and then we can, you know, put some bigger objects here, wherever that might be. Because it feels a little bit inconsistent now, like most of these close-up puzzles have that type of thing, like when you open the chest, it actually opens in the close-up version. And that is the case for most of the close-up puzzles. What other close-up puzzles were there in the demo? I mean, there weren't that many. No, there was only these two. I think these are the only actual close-up puzzles. But there are more in the full game, and basically every other version, like the unlocked state or the finished state, remains here, rather than you automatically taking a step back. Also makes it so that I can do more interesting art inside of it for like the actual objects. So we should show this quickly. Let me see if I can safe close-up, safe puzzle. I hope I don't have to... I mean, I could redo the art for the numpad to make it a little bit smaller as well, so we can have see more of the safe, but I don't know how small I want to make it. Let's see, get codes. I would like to debug log the correct code. Good idea for a jump scare? Potentially we should do something like that. How you doing, Riven Main? Welcome in. So basically this is what I want to fix. When you walk up to the safe, let me turn the light on, and you enter the correct code, you automatically take a step back, and then you open the safe like this. And that's the part that I feel like is a little bit inconsistent with how the other puzzles in the game work. Like most of the time you would actually remain like close to the safe, if that makes sense. So I think I want to do the same thing here. Small little change, but it feels more consistent. I think it's gonna look better. Feels a little bit odd taking a step back. So I think here what we're gonna do is just do a... I wonder if I should I do a quick... No, that's probably not gonna look right. Could I do a quick animation where I just pull this to the right? I probably could, you know, if we do it quickly enough. It might actually look like the door is opening up. Like obviously in reality it would be more like this. But I don't want to play around with the pixel size. I could do like 3 frames, like do 1, 2, 3 and actually export these as is. But I think it might, if we do it really quickly, I think this might be fine. To have like a little bit of an animation when it opens up. Let's see, how do I need to do this? Like I said, I could try and make this smaller too, but I don't know if I need to necessarily. Let me make a new layer, and then I'm going to, let's see, what would be part of the door here? And what is the door? I think the end of the door would be this line. So if we take this, and then we basically go boom. Let me just see how this could look. I'm thinking that this would be a safe with a few... Do I have the safe here? I think I do. This is the safe. Like, rather than doing this, I think I'm just gonna put like a shelf or 2 in here. You know? And that's the one you will actually see when you open up. I think this could be shortened as well. Looking at that before, it actually seemed like... Looks a little bit weird. I think I should tighten this try a lot. Maybe do something like that instead. Because obviously we still need to switch to this one once you manually walk back. And then here, what would I do? I don't know if you're gonna see the actual bottom of the safe, because at first you are looking basically straight at the numpad, which is going to be fairly centered. I don't think in this case we would see really either the top nor the bottom of the safe if we keep the same size, which I think I want to do, because same thing like the stars or whatever here are gonna get really tiny if I try to make the numpad smaller. Obviously if I made a numpad smaller I might actually... I don't think so, because if I want the entire safe to be visible, the numpad has to be like this or something. Because it would have made sense for the numpad to take up like half the width of the safe. Okay, I'm gonna try this and just see how it looks. So maybe we do something like this. And then maybe we put a shelf. I don't know if I can do 45 degrees here. Maybe. Maybe the shelf doesn't have to go all the way out. Maybe we stop like here. Go over here. Maybe make it, give it a little bit of width, height, whatever. And obviously we would have to have the back of the shelf. I feel like this could look pretty good. It feels like potentially, it feels not very deep. So maybe we get rid of this one. Let's see, how deep would I like this to be? Maybe something like this instead. Which means that the corner, the inside corner would be about here. Now it kinda looks like this is leaning downwards. I don't know, I don't know if I can do 45 degrees. Maybe we have to lower this down. And then change that angle instead. How would it be if I did this as 2s? I do like a consistent amount of pixels on this type of stuff because it looks a lot cleaner. Would be something like this. Perspective, eh? That looks a bit weird. Numpad still feels pretty big. I feel like this needs to look bigger. Whereas the fallback could pop back as now, but automatically pop it open. Yeah, I think that would probably be better as well. But the thing is that I think I would prefer to actually remain in this scene. But this doesn't look right. This does not look right. Just because it feels a little bit more consistent to what I do elsewhere in the game, you know? Let me actually merge this down. So closed, safe, and then you go boom. I this line looks. But 45 degrees did look a little bit odd, didn't it? Maybe it's fine. I think it might be. And the perspective should be okay, like, because from looking here, that means I'm more to the left of the actual wall, which means that I would be able to see a bit of the wall. Maybe we could make this a little bit thicker still. Yeah, maybe. And maybe we move this over here so we get the extra line in here. I think that could work. And then basically once you unlock it, we just quickly slide this away so you don't notice that the perspective doesn't change. Gonna do it fairly quick. And then we put some items on here. I think I would prefer this. Maybe should add a little bit of the wooden wall over here. I don't know, it does do it a little bit messy. I mean, as long as you see the numpad, and obviously you've seen the small version before you walk up here, obviously I think people are gonna understand what's going on here. I think it's fine. Maybe. This does mean I'm gonna need to separate this a little bit. And let's do this. Moon is with the raid. Welcome in, man. How you doing? And how was your stream? I'm working on some new art here for the safe in my game. Big shout out to Moonies, yet another game developer here on twitch.tv. Chirp my dap. How you been, Moonies? Good to see you, man. For anyone coming in, if you don't know me, I go by Mad Chirpy and I'm working on this point and click puzzle horror game. If you're interested, here's a little demo trailer for ya. There we have it, ladies and gentlemen, and the fucking back-to-back raid. Holy shit, the timing of that one. That's Fane with the raid as well. Welcome in, man. Hope you're doing well. Moonies and as well as Fane, if there's anything you wanna share, anything you wanna show, let me know as always. Fane, have you gotten the Steam page up? Marmalade, welcome in, good to have you again. Holy shit, the timing of that one, eh? They should have another trailer for them too, not gonna lie. The double raid, indeed. That might be one of the closest back-to-back raids I've ever gotten, holy shit. I did just show off the trailer for my game. I'm not gonna do that again, but for anyone that doesn't know me, I go by Mad Sherpy and I'm working on this game called Shroud of Gloom. It's a point-and-click horror puzzle game. You have to go around this, you know, you have to rummage through this old manor, solve some puzzles, all of that good stuff. Make sure to check it out if you're interested. Here's a link to the demo, which is out right now. Also, let me give a shout out to that Fane as well, yet another game developer on Twitch. Go and check him out if you haven't. You doing well, Moonies? Nice to hear, man. The Steam page is up and we will make a playtest tomorrow until Sunday. Let's go, man. Let me check it out. Ooh, look at that. Blood spill. Damn, I quite like the caps a lot. Bloodspill is a fast-paced PvP retro FPS with one-hit combat featuring classic game modes like Deathmatch, Capture the Flag and Conquest. Release date to be announced. Oh, look at that. Got some flashy gifs here as well. Deathmatch, kill or be killed. How? Okay, so from the looks of it, you have both melee combat as well as range combat. Is that a challenge to balance? You know that the way you name your game looks like Poppy Playtime? Wait, what do you mean, Rivenmain? Let's go, man. There is indeed a trailer as well, let's check it out. Sorry if that was a bit loud. Blood spill. Damn, it looks fucking sick, man. Nice one. Oh, bonus footage. Oh yeah, that was a very good one. That's a very good one. Let's go, man. Let me make sure to put this on my wish list as well. It kind of worked out fine with the balancing. We only have the crossbow and the dagger can block arrows. Okay, interesting. But to be honest, I will need to see how the balancing is after the playtest. Okay. Yeah, I could definitely see it being interesting, but I assume then that... Yeah, it kind of gets a bit balanced if the dagger can block the arrows, but the arrows can't really, or the crossbow I suppose, can't really block the dagger. I assume that's the case. Because otherwise it does feel like ranged would have quite a big advantage. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure to wishlist the game, follow the game, all of that good stuff. Support our fellow developers, as always. Are you gonna do public playtest on Steam? Are you gonna do the public button and you accepting the amount, etc.? How do you plan on doing it? Absolutely sniped, yeah. Yeah, and the crossbow has a long reload time. Yeah, that's a fair point. That's another good value or whatever that you can tweak. I assume the playtest will help out a lot, seeing how balanced the different modes of combat is. Because the good thing is that most likely it will be very evident if it needs to be tweaked in any way. Like, if everyone starts playing melee, or if everyone starts playing crossbow, or like, you can basically look at the percentage. Just, I assume, I don't know about this, I assume that you want it to be fairly equal. I mean, just I suppose that would be an indicator that they are quite balanced. So just being able to look and see what people choose to play with, I suppose, is going to be... Oh, but it could also be the whole right-hand, left-handed thing, where if like the majority starts playing crossbow, then maybe you actually naturally give an advantage to the other one, for example, because people are less used to fighting against it. You know what I mean? Is this whole... as far as I'm aware, it's basically the argument for like why right-handed people have never been able to basically take over completely. Like, as far as I'm aware, throughout human history, right-handed people have almost always been the majority, right? However, left-handed people have always been able to survive, and I think one of the reasons for it was that kind of similar thing where, like, if only the minority is left-handed, they end up getting an advantage in certain spaces because people are, you know, less knowledgeable in, like, in fighting, for example. You're less used to fighting someone who's left-handed, so they cannot get the upper hand. But then as soon as left-handed people start, like, becoming less of a minority, as in like that portion of the population or whatever started increasing, that advantage became less, so then they started, you know, decreasing again. So it was kind of formed so that they always remained somewhat of a, like, lower percentage. But yeah, it looks really cool, man. I'm kind of excited. I hope I'll get time to check it out. What did you say? 11th of December until the 15th. That sounds very far-fetched. I know there is I watched some YouTube video about it, and I know that YouTube videos never lie, so... I think it might have been this one. Why are some people left-handed? Was it this one? I think it was this one. About 1/10 of the world's population are southpaws. Daniel M. Abrams investigates how an uneven ratio of leftists and rightists gives insight into balance between competitive and cooperative pressures on human evolution. In case anyone is curious. Fine, it's 5 minutes.
If you know an old older left-handed person, chances are they had to learn to write or eat with their right hand. And in many parts of the world, it's still common practice to force children to use their proper hand. Even the word for right also means correct or...
That was the case for me. I don't know about you guys, but I certainly got taught in early school like how you're supposed to eat, etc. in terms of like which utensil you use in which hand.
Good. Not just in English, but many other languages too. But if being left-handed is so wrong, then why does it happen in the first place? Today, about 1/10 of the world's population are left-handed. Archaeological evidence shows that it's been that way for as long as 500,000 years, with about 10% of human remains showing the associated differences in arm length and bone density, and some ancient tools and artifacts showing evidence of left-hand use. And despite what many may think, handedness is not a choice. It can be predicted even before birth, based on the fetus's position in the womb. So if handedness is inborn, does that mean it's genetic? Well, yes.
My entire family eats the opposite, so it's no problem. How you doing, IPO? Welcome in. Put the fork in the left hand. The fork requires more dexterity than the knife. It depends though, does it? I don't know. Damn, I still eats with hand though.
No. Identical twins who have the same genes can have different dominant hands. In fact,
oh, that's
this
interesting.
happens as often as it does with any other sibling pair. But the chances of being right or left-handed are determined by the handedness of your parents in surprisingly consistent ratios. If your father was left-handed but your mother was right-handed, you have a 17% chance of being born left-handed, while two righties will have a left-handed child only 10% of the time. Handedness seems to be determined by a roll of the dice, but the odds are set by your genes. All of this implies there's a reason that evolution has produced this small proportion of lefties and maintained it over the course of millennia. And while there have been several theories attempting to explain why handedness exists in the first place, or why most people are right-handed, a recent mathematical model suggests that the actual ratio reflects a balance between competitive and cooperative pressures on human evolution. The benefits of being left-handed...
Yeah, I don't remember the cooperative, but I think that it's the competitive one that I remembered from this.
...handed are clearest in activities involving an opponent, like combat or competitive sports. For example, about 50% of top hitters in baseball have been left-handed. Why? Think of it as a surprise...
Yeah, so that's interesting, right? That's a very interesting data point. If only 10% of the population are left-handed, wouldn't it, like, generally speaking, be 10% in the top of each sport that are left-handed as well? Like, it should have correlated somewhat, right? Messi's left foot, right hand, by the way. Oh yeah, there's like the footedness as well, I suppose. Welcome in, Joao. Now it's moved back and forth. Fork needs to rotate weirdly. It only rotates if you eat spaghetti. Otherwise, don't you just like stick it in? Like in that case, if you just cut in something, I feel like the knife kind of requires more dexterity. I'd use a fork with left and right, but somehow it feels strange to cut with the left hand. Yeah, I think it would, but I mean, obviously I got used to eating that way. Because I do the thing where, you know, I will have the fork in my left hand if I'm using a knife, but if I don't use a knife, I switch to the right hand. Just makes table wider, solve the problem, lets people eat the way they want. After cutting, you need to rotate your hand to the mouth. But do you think that requires more dexterity or effort than cutting? Like that one rotation, I feel like is simpler than the act of cutting a somewhat hard piece of meat or something. Simple, everybody on the left side do one way, everybody on the right do the other. He's draws some people are both right hand and left hand at the same time. When I played football, I was better in something with the leg and I am right side. Yeah, I think it's possible that I might actually be similar. I don't know, I'm a weirdo. Just I think if I would kick a football, I would generally do it with my right foot. However, I'm goofy if I'm on a skateboard, which means I stand in like the, you know, the less common way, where most people are regular, as they say. With that would mean that you're, let's say, you're skating with your left foot forward, whereas I do it with my right foot forward. So I think I'm a little bit mixed in that sense. Also, you can put stuff with knife on the fort, so you need more dexterity with the knife. Yeah, that's a good point as well. Also, weird thing that you generally hold shield on your weak hand, even if it weighs more. Yeah, that's a good point. But I assume it's similar because the action is more complex with the sword, right? I kick with the right foot, jump with the left foot. I regular on skateboard, snowboard. Interesting. Yeah, I would kick with the right, but I'm goofy on skateboard. For high jump and such. I think it has to do with your childhood. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it's interesting, because you would kind of expect, on something like skateboard, for example, like, you would kind of expect that everyone who kicks a ball with the right foot would have the same stance on a skateboard. But yeah, it doesn't seem to be the case, which is kind of interesting.
Because lefties are a minority to begin with, both right-handed and left-handed competitors will spend most of their time encountering and practicing against righties. So when the two face each other, the left-hander will be better prepared against this right-handed opponent.
Yeah, so the left-handed people get the advantage of being more used competing or fighting against right-handed people. And then that's also mirrored where right-handed people get more of a disadvantage because they are not as used to competing against or fighting left-handed people.
The righty will be thrown off. This fighting hypothesis, where an imbalance in the population results in an advantage for left-handed fighters or athletes, is an example of negative frequency-dependent selection. But according to the principles of evolution, groups that have a relative advantage tend to grow until that advantage disappears.
Yeah.
If people were only fighting and competing throughout human evolution, natural selection would lead to more lefties being the ones that made it, until there were so many of them that it was no longer a rare asset. So in a purely competitive world, 50% of the population would be left-handed. But human evolution has been shaped by cooperation as well as competition, and cooperative pressure pushes handedness distribution in the opposite direction. In golf, where performance doesn't depend on the opponent, only 4% of top players are left-handed, an example of the wider phenomenon of tool sharing. Just as golfers can more easily find a set of right-handed clubs, many of the important instruments that have shaped society were designed for the right-handed majority.
Well, that's a fair point.
Because are worse at using these tools and suffer from higher accident rates, they would be less successful in a purely cooperative world, eventually disappearing from the population. So by correctly predicting the distribution of left-handed people in the general population, as well as matching data from various sports, the model indicates that the persistence of lefties as a small but stable minority reflects an equilibrium that comes from competitive and cooperative effects playing out simultaneously over time. And the most intriguing thing is what the numbers can tell us about various populations, from the skewed distribution of pawedness in cooperative animals to the slightly larger percentage of lefties in competitive hunter-gatherer societies. We may even find that the answers to some puzzles of early human evolution are already in our hands.
Pretty interesting, isn't it? I thought it was quite interesting at least. So basically this entire detour is because I think theoretically you could have something similar happen here in some regard. But I do still suppose that with that being said, the best case scenario is probably to have quite equal balance between crossbows and swords, I imagine. But yeah, that was a little bit of a detour. Very cool stuff, man. Very excited for ya, and I hope the playtest ends up going well. There's more people left-handed and right foot. That's the most weird thing for me. Depends actually. With a shield maybe, but with a buckler or with some sword breaker. In long sword fighting you can see if someone is a lefty. Even though both lefty and righty hold the sword the same, because the right-sided moves everybody can do, but the left-handed moves often feel strange for righties. Just similar to southpaw in boxing. I think so as well. I would not be that surprised if, on average, southpaws are better at switching stance than right-handed people. Well, to be fair though, when it comes to martial arts, you can have right-hand. Isn't like Conor McGregor, he's a southpaw, right? But I'm fairly certain he's a... he's right-handed. S-Funk, welcome in, man. Being left-handed is such a strange experience. Even when learning, you normally are trying to invert/mirror what is being shown to you. Oh yeah, that's a good point as well. Because you're more likely, like if someone is teaching you or showing you how to do something, it's more likely that they will be right-handed, just statistically. Yeah, that's an interesting point as well. Personal experience, I tend to adapt quickly to both left and right-handed manners depending on what is needed. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Obviously, I have no actual data for this, but it definitely seems logical to assume that left-handed people, on average, are better at switching. Okay, so we're gonna take this, and we are gonna put you over here. And then I actually kind of need to do the same with the... Or maybe I should move this one instead. Because I could always keep this active in the background. Yeah, that could actually be part of the actual background. But then we take... Instead what we do is that we move the safe away. So put you back here. And then I'm going to grab the actual door. And I'm going to put you over here. This can be the background in the scene. And when you unlock it, we just disable or move this one out of the way. That seems like it would work. Okay, let's save that. So now if we walk up to the safe, we're not gonna have a door. We are gonna have the numpad, but... Yeah, exactly. Okay. So... I visited the castle once, it explained why the curly stairs went clockwise. Oh yeah, I remember hearing about that as well. It's so that the people defending the castle, generally speaking, you know, statistically you're gonna be right-handed, so you get a bit of a... You get more space fighting that way compared to if you're fighting someone upwards in the stairs, right? I think it's something like that. I was trying to determine which leg should be my lead leg on snowboard, but it's universal for me as well, because I suck anyways. It's on purpose, so the guy that's defending the castle has the higher ground and the advantage because he's right-handed. Yeah, because you have more space if the right hand is towards the outer wall or whatever, right? Rematch, welcome in, good to see you, man. Well, the guy underneath has a strike with the left or in a very odd angle, yeah. Kind of clever design. It was funny with me, when I learned snowboarding as a kid, I was a regular, but years later started skating and became goofy and couldn't go back to regular. Yeah, that's interesting. I think I started skating quite young, I've always been goofy, but it's quite interesting because I don't really know why. I guess at some point it could be personal preference as well, like I said, because you have southpaw fighters who are right-handed. Generally speaking, your southpaw will be left-handed, right? But some people prefer having the dominant hand behind you. Generally speaking, I think you have an advantage having your right hand forward, just is the one you jab with, it's the one you do the most with. But obviously you have more power with the backhand. Wait, am I mixing this up? Oh shit, I might be mixing this up. No, I think that's right. Southpaw has the left hand forward, right? Yeah. Exactly. Normally in fighting you have your... In like martial arts you have your dominant hand going forward. But there's still an argument for why you might want to have your dominant hand behind instead, since you get more power. Okay, let's have a look at this now. Safe, you're gonna be a bit bugged out. So what we're gonna do is, let's see, this is the background. I am going to duplicate you. And then we need to get on new art. Which should be in here. Gonna just cut this little piece out. Apply. Going to change the sprite here into that new one. We're gonna set native size. And then we're gonna align you over here somewhere. I assume 39.5. That looks correct to me. I'm gonna call this safe door. Sure thing. And now I think I'm gonna have to apply these overrides. Open you up. Go into the safe. And we're gonna switch this around a little bit, where the display symbols and the button panel, you are now going to be a child object of the safe door, so that we can disable all of this with one click. Or, potentially, slide it out of the way. I think that could work if we are quick enough. Like, if we do it slowly, it's gonna look weird. But I think if we very quickly move this away, it might actually give the impression of the door opening up. Because although the perspective of this would change, like if you only would focus on the right side of the door, opening this up would give the illusion of that one just going straight to the left. Maybe with some ease. I suppose it's slower first, quicker after, so maybe that's how we should do it as well. Was that like ease? We're gonna do something like, want it slow, like ease in qubit or something. Yeah, we want some ease in, basically. I think I wanna try it. Let's see, safe door. You're gonna get out of the way, good. Gonna go back. Let's see, safe, let's open up the script again. Let's see what happens when puzzle solved. We trigger puzzle solved, so I guess we're going to... Okay, I just triggered the solved interactions, which is this one. So publish Unity event, close puzzle. We don't want to do this anymore. We do want to play the sound effect of the door unlocking and potentially opening as well. Switch objects on click safe close to safe opened. That is correct. That's for the small variant. Why do I have 2 update map marker? Don't actually know. Let me catch up with chat here. Then if you want to conquer Castle, you need to assemble a team of leftists, exactly. Everyday life sports pretty much anything, not true ambidextrous, but usually smooth enough to make people think I am. Truly believe it's the fact that when learning you are viewing and seeing the right-handed technique, and then you are transposing it to left-handed for yourself. Actually, PC cases are right-handed as well. The glass window is almost always on the left side of the case, so you can see the interior when the PC is on your right side. Skating was always so hard for me. I derp so much, can't do it at all. I was a little bit of a skater kid when I was younger. I quite enjoyed it. I was never, like, actually good at it. I mean, like, I landed a few kick flips and stuff, but that was kind of the extent of it. I broke my wrist on my first snowboard session. Had to ski with a plastered hand for the rest of my winter jam since I didn't want to waste it. Damn. Any footage? I actually do have some footage. Ironically, I think I have a clip, a very old clip from on my clip channel. I am almost certain at some point, a very long time ago, I posted a really old clip. Yeah, Jan Chirpy nails a kickflip. The best part of this is that I show no enthusiasm whatsoever. That's the thing I like the most. Okay, we have a little fail first. Easy peasy. Made sure to check out the YouTube channels if you haven't. Ads, we want ads? Nah, I'm gonna skip these ads. Where is the beard? Yeah, I did not have a beard back then. Nice, easy. Classic background, yeah, very much, looks very Swedish, one might say. Okay, do I not have a thing called like move position on trigger? Can I ease this? I can ease this. I think I might. I'm gonna need to do something here. I'm thinking of the save system. Obviously I'm gonna need to save whether the person has unlocked the safe or not. And in that case we should just automatically deactivate this one on awake. I think it might be easier to do this through the safe puzzle code instead. I think I'm gonna do that. So I think I'm going to serialize a game object for the safe door. In a way we can do something like check save file if safe is unlocked and deactivate it if so. And then whenever you... when you solve it, we can just say something like safedoor.transform.do local move x Okay, so from your starting position, I want to move you outside completely. So let's do like minus 284. I want to move you to minus 284 in fairly quickly, 0.3 seconds maybe. Let's try that. Little sad there was no ultra heavy going music in the background. I find that to be the most fun thing about that clip, because even when I nail it, there's like no enthusiasm whatsoever about it, which I find quite funny. I used to make such videos where I did only slightly above mediocre thing and put music so hard that even landing on Mars wouldn't do justice. Yeah, I actually did do a few like skate videos and stuff when I was young as well, but unfortunately they are all lost. One of those things that I kind of regret today, because it would have been pretty fun to look back on. Okay, that didn't obviously not work. Oh, I never signed it. Cannot believe I never learn. I guess I could deactivate this one when it goes outside of screen as well. There's no reason to keep it on, I suppose. I think that might actually work. And then we're just gonna do a little on complete. I would like to say that the safe door should be deactivated. Did I forget to do the easing? I think I want to ease this. So let's do a dot set ease. Ease dot in cubic maybe. Yeah, many of my masterpieces weren't even on the internet. Those were the times when you transmitted some crappy video of IRDA. Yeah, I think it would have been fun to see that kind of stuff today. But oh well, there's not much to do, is there? I'm gonna snooze one more ad here. Ooh. Oh, now I have to open it here. So yeah, and this one should force me to go up to the safe again. So we're gonna do some slight changes here as well. Let's see, safe door, no, solve the interactions. Let's see, objects to deactivate, safe closed, activate safe closed 1. No, I want to activate safe open instead. And then safe open should now be interactable. You should be always successful. Don't have to raycast alpha pixels. And then what I want you to do is to open puzzle on click, and you're gonna reopen the safe puzzle. Because in case the player wouldn't pick everything up, I need to allow them to walk up to the safe again. Otherwise that's gonna cause some issues. Ah shit, it's not a Rachel's target. I feel better about this. I think this is an improvement. Now the safe is open here. Oh, I see. It's only the frame, isn't it? Yeah, I separated that. Exactly. So, fuck it. I am just going to copy this and paste you over here. You're now a part of the entire sprite. And then we need to have a shelf here as well, which I guess you would see the bottom of from this perspective. So maybe... Can I do this?
Oi, oi, what's good?
Might do something like that. What is up, David? Welcome in, man. Hope you're doing well. Yo, chap, I got Chance of Senna. Exceptional game so far. Makes me want to create a language puzzle game. Me as well, man. I got very much inspired by that game. And honestly speaking, I might be a bit biased here because I am a huge language nerd. But I am definitely at the point of saying that I think Chance of Senna might be one of the best games I've ever played. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, looks and feels way better. I think so as well. I'm very glad you've been enjoying it, David. Did it say it was yet? What do you mean, T-Bag? Okay, so you open up. We can now see inside the safe, and if we take a step back, the safe is open, and then we can walk back up to it. I feel pretty good about this. Like I said, it's not a huge difference, but it feels a lot better. Only difference will really be that I will have to make full-size items for whatever we put inside of the safe. But that's not the end of the world. Sorry guys, we do have some ads coming up in a moment for any non-subscribers. Appreciate your patience. So it sounded like I heard the saying was good when I checked in... when chatting was triggered. Oh, it must have been something else. I do have them in a few different languages. What do we have? We have the... we have a few English ones. We have one that just says hello. One that says... I think we have two that say hello, but in different accents. One that says something like, how's it going? We have the Czech one, Nazdar. I don't remember which other ones I added. I did want to make it so we had the check-ins in like as many languages as possible. Definitely, we should definitely add some more someday. I'll check the recording. Be right back, no worries, man. Yeah, from the top of my mind, I can't... Oh no, that's the other English one. It's what's good, I think. That was the one I mixed up. It's not how's it going. It's like... it's something like, hey yo, what's good, I think. So that might have been the one. Okay, there should be a bit more of a sound from the door opening up though. So let me check what I did with the small door. Save closed 1. Sound effect, door open, less volume and more pitch. Let's try the same thing here. Solve the interactions, add another one. We're gonna do... door sliding quick, door squeak. Let's do door open, 0.5 volume, 1.4 in pitch. It happens a little bit too quickly. I think I want to delay this. Dot set delay, maybe like half a second or something. Just a tinge. Yeah, sounds like I was good, but I'm taking the chat again, so I'm gonna shut up again. No worries, man. Hey, the chat we wouldn't have the chat here if you were not supposed to chat in it. Do you know what I mean? Don't worry. I think that is better. I think we could slightly... let's do like 0.25. And then add a little bit of a delay to the door actually opening up. Maybe the same, 0.25 for the sound effect of the door opening. Maybe. I think you could delay that sound even more, to be honest. Ads should be over. Welcome back, guys. Let's do 0.35 on the door opening sound effect in delay. Yeah, that feels pretty good, I think. I think I like this. There was something else I was thinking about doing. Oh yeah, for the clock, I think we could do a more interesting background. I like it. Yeah, I am quite happy with that one. So let's override this. And then we're gonna save. And then I'm gonna be responsible. And we are actually going to do a little commit here. Did I do some work on the clock today as well? I did. Okay, let's do clock buttons and save and commit that. There we go. I did realize there were quite a few close-up scenes that I had not done like proper backgrounds for. Let's go and check the clock room. At some point, I'm gonna have to start doing a lot more work down in the basement as well. We're gonna need some extra bits of decoration and so on. Might actually change the layout a little bit in the basement as well. I do have a background here, right? I do indeed. But then here I don't... Yeah, here there's nothing, which I think looks a little bit sad. I don't know about the TV either. There's nothing behind the TV. I think we should add some texture here as well. This is probably fine. I do want to change the hitboxes here a little bit at some point. You can click right in between these, which I find a little bit annoying. So I guess what I would have to do... Oh no, that's fine. Yeah, I can make these wider, raycast the alpha pixels, and then just make sure to put the black keys on top. Because I find quite a lot, if you play the piano with your mouse, it is fairly easy to click like in between the keys. So that could maybe be something we could look into as well. But let's start off with this. I would like to change that. I think we even have a background here, don't we? We do indeed. So I'm just going to duplicate the background, make you a child of the current background, rename you into non-lit. I'm gonna add a non-lit layer. And this one, I now would like to have lit. And you are gonna be non-interactable. Then both of these images is going to change into background wood. Then we need to set the default color. Boom. Fairly easy fix, but I think that is gonna look a lot better. Just have some more texture. Just realize, is that an animation with the keys? Usually it's just they switch to another image, and yes, I couldn't shut up for long. Don't even worry, man. It is indeed. I do use them quite rarely. You're definitely correct in that the vast majority of animations I have in the game are like the door, for example. It's a switch between sprites, right? And that is the case most of the time. There are a few places where I do an actual animation, like the TV turning off and on. That one I actually did a bit of an animation because it was fairly simple. And obviously the new safe we did an actual animation on. And you are very much correct about the keys as well. These actually get pushed down. It's basically since I started using Do Tween. I started doing some like tween animations. But most of the time you will only see it when it's like something just moving to another position, right? I think one of the very few actual like sprite animations I've done is the swing, right? So if we go to outside corner, this one. This is like one of the very few proper sprite animations I've done. Otherwise, the vast majority is just a switch between two different sprites. The shaking, I suppose, but that's also tweening. I think it's cool because if you use it sparingly, you can magnify the importance. Yeah, I definitely don't want to do... Because I think for me, it's just... It's scope management, right? When it comes to making too many, like, actual sprite animations, they just take me too long. Like, I'm very well aware that animation is not my strong suit. Do you know what I mean? Programmatic animations, I'm quite fine with. I don't mind doing programmatic ones. But that will, you know, most of the time be the simple ones where you're only, like, moving something. Yeah, I definitely prefer this. Looks a lot more interesting with a bit of a background. So maybe we should do the same for the TV as well. I'm a little bit scared because I've been working in both the demo scene and the main scene with the same prefabs. I think that's fine, because if I done a change in another scene and then I override the prefab in this scene, the changes I did earlier is going to become an override in the other scene, right? Like, as far as I'm aware, I don't think there's a possibility for me to actually lose anything. It's only if I would accidentally revert one that I would actually be able to lose progress.
The community to a marble race.
Let's do it, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for the first official marble race of the day, with the challenger being Lupo. Do you have a preferred map, Mr. Lupo? The first one, we are going to do the Descent. If anyone wants to join and have some marbles, type !join in the chat. We're also gonna start a prediction as the new tradition is, so if you wanna gamble some channel points on whether or not you think that the challenger Lupo will win, then go ahead and do so right now. Saxy Duck, welcome in, man. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Coding coming in with some marbles as well. So far, no one has bet anything. People are a little bit less cocky today. Never mind, we have 1,000 points bet on the challenger. Which means that if anyone would just bet 10 points against the challenger, you might take it all home. Odds wouldn't make sense whatsoever, but, you know, it's still very much the case. About half the time remaining in the prediction so far. We have 1,500 points bet on the challenger and no non-believers. We don't have a single point bet against the challenger. People might actually think that Lupo is going to take it home this time. To be fair, it's not that long ago that we did have the challenger win. Wasn't it like last race or something? I think. If I'm not mistaken. We now have 100 points bet against the challenger. So we do have a actual gamble going on. I do suppose that the challenger just loses the point otherwise. Like, they just disappear into non-existent. Yeah, you won, Luasoft, indeed, with a crazy comeback, exactly. You were not in the lead whatsoever for like 80% of the level, and then right at the end. Only a few seconds left in the prediction if someone wants to gamble some challenge points. With that, the prediction has ended, so if anyone else wants some marbles, type !join in the chat, otherwise we're gonna be starting in about 10 seconds. Great investment as a non-believer today. Yeah, if the prediction goes your way, Luasoft, you're gonna make a good return on an investment, that's for sure. We have Saxidak rematch coding doing pretty well here in the Plinko section. Going into the spinner though, we have Lupo, Teabag, as well as Saxidak in the lead. Lupo is, the challenger, is currently in the lead, but does get blocked by the gate. No one manages to do the flipper skip. Let's see if that can change or if someone's gonna fall through. We do have Teabag Beercan with the flipper skip going first into the Plinko section, as well as a double Saxidak, but as many of you know, the Arcanoid section here is basically starting point 2.0. Middle seems the way to go at the moment. Never mind, we have Luasoft, Lupo and TechBots going first into the whooshers, but Lupo, the challenger, absolutely nailing it through that section right now, in the lead in the Plinko section, but does struggle a little bit here. Whereas Teabag manages to go first into the spinners. Lupo is still in here, but it's fairly... yeah, it's fairly guaranteed that Teabag is indeed going to take the win. We have TechBots North second place, Lupo the challenger third. Codin 4 and 5 such that TechBots rematch Teabag and Luasoft. Easy money. GG to the non-believers. I kicked myself. Oh damn, Teabag was actually a believer as well. Which means that you both won and lost. It could be worse. Let's see who the second winner is, aka last place. It seems like we might have rematch or TechBots North, depending on how this goes. Looks like rematch got through the Plinko section there. So I think it is fairly guaranteed that our second winner, aka last place, is going to be TechBots North. Finished third last time too, damn. There we have it, every marble has reached the finish line, so with that we're gonna end the prediction, and unfortunately, although 94% of the channel points were bet on the challenger, they did in fact not win, so the points will be distributed amongst the non-believers. So with that we're gonna end the prediction and get back to work. Thanks for raising as always. No stress race for me, exactly. I was the only non-believer. You were technically not, but you might have been the only non-believer that bet points. Because there is a way where you can actually bet without betting points, which is basically just for fun. There were other people who were non-believers. Or, yeah, exactly. But it can depend on location as well. In Sweden, without a VPN, you cannot for some reason bet channel points, so you will be forced to only bet 0 points. Let's see, TV room. Here there actually is another thing I would like to do, something I've thought about for a long time, which is to have the static noise of the TV get louder and lower as you walk up to it and away from it. I think that would be a pretty neat detail. I did something similar with the clock, so it certainly should be possible. Let's see if we can add a background here as well though. TV. Oh shit, do I have a background in the actual sprite? I do. The entire thing here is the sprite. That complicates it a little bit. Because I would have to update the sprite sheet. Can you not open the home tab again if you close it? I could also just add the background to this sprite. That's another way of doing it. You know what? I'm gonna solve that some other time. I do suppose the sound is a little bit different here though, because the TV plays a ambience. It's technically not a sound effect. It's room ambience. But I think I should be able to override the volume anyway. Because I think we could do this level while you're up close to it, and then slightly lower the volume as you walk away from it. I feel like that could be nice. I might want to redesign this room at some point too. I don't think it's good that I reused the front doors from the other side of the house here, because there's a fair amount of people who end up thinking that this door is the same as the one at the front, whereas, you know, I was kind of thinking that this is the back door of the house. Maybe I just put a normal door here. Maybe. First time coming through first and I'm not happy. I voted against, but here in the good old Svea Rike we can't bet points, exactly. Shapology, welcome in David Winsands, how you doing, man? And Imperial, welcome in too, how you doing? Hope you're having a good Wednesday. We've been improving some art in the game here today, so far so good. Making sure that we have proper backgrounds on all the close-up objects. I definitely think it adds something. So we got those sorted, we did the new art for the safe. I think that's a lot better, rather than forcing the player out and only opening this one. I feel quite good about that. Oh yeah, we still have the piano. We could... It's a very small tweak, but it would be kind of nice to get rid of the... Like, make sure that you can't click between these, because it makes it a lot harder to play something, because you might do a very close misclick. It's only like a 1 pixel line or something. I guess it's 2 pixels, but... I think we might even be able to do that with just the... with like one checkbox, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see, second piano room. Right now the... Oh no, that is annoying. I just realized an issue we have. For the animation, the black keys have to be behind the white keys, because otherwise they would go out in front of them. But that means that I can't just make this one raycast alpha pixels, because then you're gonna cover the black keys. And I do want, even though you don't have to play them, I do think I want the black keys to be playable, just for fun. What up, my homie? What's good? Doing quite good. Yeah, I'm doing good, Imperial. I had a quite productive day today before the stream, and so far so good on stream as well. I've been planning out a lot more of the content for the full game, and I feel pretty good about it. Hope you guys are doing good as well. Foreground, background, black keys, white keys. How much do I push the black keys down when you play them? Maybe there is a... Oh, they go down quite far, actually. There is another way I can solve this. I don't raycast pixels, but I make this a part of the sprite. But then that would move as well. Okay, maybe I just add a bit of black pixels in between. We get rid of this line that's behind it. Let's call it a day. And same thing here, I suppose. I wonder... Maybe here I should do it as a part of the black key, so that one gets a little bit of a bigger hitbox. Oh wait! No, you can't click in between them. That one only has one pixel though, so it's harder. Definitely not a huge issue this, but I feel like it would be nice if this couldn't happen. How did I cut out the sprites here? Oh yeah, we were thinking about doing like the horizontal piano ones as well. They actually do have another pixel around them. So that means that on the black one we can just decide to raycast alpha pixels, and we should get rid of the space in between those keys. I cannot raycast alpha pixels on these, because then you're not gonna be able to click the black key that's in between. But we could just add black pixels here and we are pretty much fine. So I think I'm going to do that. Piano. I'm just going to do this. I think that is the easiest fix I can do, and then for every black key that we have, all of these, or rather all of the playable ones, I would like to raycast alpha pixels. gamedev, welcome in, man. How you doing? Hope you're having a good day so far. Why can I still click in between them? Here I can't. But here I can. How is that possible? Oh wait, is one of these misaligned? Have I misaligned something here? I'm getting a little bit curious now. Those line up. Those look like they line up. I mean, this all looks good. That's odd. You're doing good, Irad. Nice to hear. Mastering buttons. For anyone that doesn't know, gamedev is yet another developer on twitch.tv, so go and check him out if you haven't. Supports our fellow developers, as always. Damn, I don't understand this. Why can I still click in between them? That should not be the case. Bulb Torto, welcome in, man. Good to have ya. I guess this line here is never against black key either, right? So we could actually fill that one up all the way. Or at least further. Because I do suppose now that it's fairly simple to click in between them here. Whereas here it's much harder. There's only like one where it seemed possible. Was it here? Now I can't do it. I think that no matter what, I think this is good enough. I don't understand how I managed... No, here, look! Here I can click and nothing happens. Shouldn't be the case. Is this tweet coming from people feedback? Nope. This is completely unnecessary tweets that I don't think really require as much effort as I'm giving it. But it's a nice little thing. I mean, it's not coming from player feedback, but it is somewhat coming from the fact that I've seen people misclick in between the keys. But no one has actually expressed it as a problem. Yeah, that feels better. Now it's very difficult to click in between them. Even though it still seems possible somewhere here. But I'm gonna... I mean, I'm missing quite a lot of those. Oh, that's just... I'm technically triggering on-pointed drag. Okay, we need to change this. I have an idea. All of the playable keys everywhere should actually trigger on pointed down, not on pointed click. we are gonna play the piano on pointed down. Because I think that makes it so that dragging doesn't actually make a difference, as far as I'm aware. Froston, welcome in, how you doing, man? Yeah, there we go. Something people have been asking for, though, is the ability to actually click and drag across these. I mean, you can do it with the keyboard, since obviously I went full strobe creep and made the piano playable with the keyboard as well. I guess that wouldn't be too difficult. Couldn't I just look whenever pointer enter happens if you are currently... if the pointer is down? That feels a bit weird, because that means that if I click down here, I can then do this. Then we only do it... I might actually try that, you know? I might actually try that. Ping pong position... play audio source on click. Oh shit, do I not have any... Oh, there's no custom code for this. This is all built up with the components. That makes it trickier. Unless... trigger interactable on keyboard. I could do something similar to this, where we basically add a component called trigger interactable on drag or something. Titan, don't feel like doing what I plan to do today. Sorry to hear that, Froston. But sometimes it might be good to take a break as well. You know, do as I say, not as I do, I suppose. Well, I was about to suggest mapping it to the keyboard, so unnecessary, but the people who'll figure that out will appreciate it. Yeah, I think so as well. It's very much as you said, like, it's not gonna make or break the game, but it is a fun little thing. Like, if someone who actually knows how to play piano plays this game, you could have like a fun little clip or a moment or something where someone basically starts playing Mozart on the piano in the game. Which, to be fair, we already have our own little Mozart Mr. Cheater. Can we find it? It was a while ago. Join the Discord if you haven't, people. Here we have it. Look at this madman. Absolutely beautiful, isn't it? Absolutely fucking beautiful. GG, man. Nerf this. Now we just need a banjo on the porch that we can play. Take chords with one hand, strum with the mouse. Oh my god, you could do something, that's kind of crazy. Where you can actually hold chords by clicking the... Like, if you press down D, you would hold down a D chord. And then if you press, like, shift, you're gonna do D minor. Dude, you could scope creep this so fucking far, man. You actually could, holy shit. Okay, I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna try doing something crazy, like making a thing called trigger interactable on drag. It's not technically going to be on drag, it's going to be on pointer enter plus drag. Which doesn't really make sense, but that only works if I can check if the player is currently dragging... No, I check if the point is down, that's all I do. Like on pointer enter... On pointer enter, if left mouse button is pressed down, then we trigger the interactables. Trigger interactable... Oh my god, what should I call this? It's very niche, I'm not gonna use it anywhere else, to be honest. Trigger interactable... I have another one called like on hover, but that's not the same thing. Oh well, that's not even on hover, it's hover interactable, isn't it? This is like... Trigger interactable on... It's not only on pointer enter. On hover while pointer down. Fuck it. Who gives a shit? That's fine. The longest fucking class name I've ever seen, but I don't know. I guess specificity is good, eh? Okay, so we are going to add... We're not gonna add iInteractable. But let me have a look at this one, what I do here. I do need to get all of the interactables, so I'm gonna just copy-paste this. Let me just do this so IntelliSense wakes up again. I'm gonna copy this, remove whatever namespace that was. Gonna go in here, gonna paste this, remove the key code. Interactables equals get components interactable, yes. Remove unnecessary namespaces. And then I actually want to add pointer enter handler. And I don't care about exit here, to be honest. It's only enter I want. Then we make a public on pointer enter pointer event data. Is that how you do it? Void. If, and I'm gonna use the old system here. Am I? Yes. If get key down, if input dot get key down, key code, mouse 0. If you're pressed down when the pointer enters this raycast target or whatever, then I would like to interact. Boom. It is a little bit crazy, but why not? That would be cool, can't lie, yeah. 84 languages and 13 instruments is the MVP grayscale pixel art puzzle horror game. Truer words have never been spoken. Okay, so this should only work for the white keys now, but let me try it. I think this is something people would appreciate, because I've noticed a lot of people wanting to do this. It does not seem to work. Did I do the black keys accidentally? No. Why is this not working? White keys. Trigger interactable on hover while pointed down. Technically it's on pointer enter while pointer down. Get key... Oh no, it's not get key down, it's get key. Yeah. It's just get key down is the moment the key is pressed down. I just want to get key. Yeah. I think I mixed up the how that system works. Because you have on pointer... No, you have get key down, get key up, right? So in this case, it's get key I want. Yeah. That's pretty fucking nice, isn't it? Okay. And now we're just gonna add the same thing to all of the playable black keys as well. Truly interactable on hover while pointed down. Yep. Nice, let's sing a song. Maybe not that one, but... I play using fuzzlings. Is this a bit loud for you guys? It might have been, sorry if that was the case. That might be better. I definitely think this is something... This is actually something people have asked for. No one has said anything about being able to accidentally press in the middle of these, but people have said they want to be able to just drag and play the keys here. Should I do an achievement for this? Maybe. Maybe. I might. Play like a 5-year-old. I do want some achievement for the piano. I do have some Easter eggs with the piano, but I don't know if I want to put a achievement on those because it's fairly hard to find. And I want some achievements to be like hidden or like a little bit unintuitive or whatever, but it shouldn't be like actively difficult. I feel bad requiring someone to actually know how to play the piano to be able to get a certain achievement. Since we are scope creeping, why not let the player tap on the wood of the piano body to have some drums as well? You know what? You're speaking my language. It worked perfectly. Neighbors love it so much that they are knocking to the doors already. You should make the piano MIDI compatible. That is something that has been mentioned before as well. I don't know even where to start with that, but it's probably possible. Sorry guys. Is this gonna mess with the puzzle itself? No. Because the way I'm gonna do this puzzle is that, you know, I will basically continuously check for the, you know, the solution or whatever you wanna call it. So if you play something else first or whatever, that shouldn't matter. But it is a good question. If you have a music theme for your game, then maybe achievement for playing it, but that's the ones that I think are a bit tricky. I think it would be very cool to do something like that. Like if you play the main menu music on the keyboard, then you get like an Easter egg or something. But it does feel a little bit harsh putting an achievement for that, since you basically require someone to either have fucking perfect pitch and be able to tell it, or they actually have to like look up the actual melody of the main menu music and then be able to play that on the piano. Like it, I don't know, it feels a little bit potentially too difficult for what I would like. Like if someone, I said this I think last stream as well, if someone wants to get all achievements in the game, they should have to put some effort in, but I never want it to feel like too unfair. And I feel like requiring someone to understand music theory or to be able to like actually play the piano feels a little bit too unfair for my taste. But this is subjective in some regard, so you are very welcome to disagree with this. But that's kind of my viewpoint it as of right now. Like, I definitely want some harder achievements and some hidden ones, etc. I just don't know if I personally want that in my game when they are like incredibly difficult. I don't know though, this could change. This could change 100%. Creepy detail, player plays something on the piano, you record it and play it randomly when the player is in another room. That would be kind of cool, like actually play back what they did. Probably not too difficult either. I could just record like the last 5 keys you played and then do it. Achievement, get sued by Nintendo, play Super Mario Bros. Underground theme. To be honest, I've seen way more difficult achievements, but yeah, no, and that is certainly the case. Like, I think the example I took was unlocking the Lost in the Binding of Isaac. Like, that one is very difficult, at least without looking up how to do it, right? I don't know how many would naturally get that one. I think it's a very, very few. And people who sweat for 100% are used to Google. I do suppose that's fair. I wonder though more so, like, how long it would take for someone to even know of that achievement. I guess what you could do is actually put in a proper description that gives it away. So then people at least know that that achievement, like how to do it, but someone is gonna have to figure out the melody. Because otherwise, like, if I do it as like a hidden achievement without a description, I think it's very likely that someone might just not ever find it. Easter egg is nice as well and keep the achievements casual friendly. That's kinda what I'm thinking. Like, once again, I don't want to make the achievements too easy. Like, I'm not gonna give someone 100% achievements for just getting through the game. Because, frankly, in my opinion, I don't like that. Like, I have mentioned this before, but I did get 100% achievements in a game just for reaching the end. And that doesn't feel good. Like, I don't want to have 100% achievements unless I put some effort in. But obviously it's more so the balance of the difficulty. But Easter eggs I think we can do a ton of. And like hidden lore, etc. Like so much stuff like that I'm willing to do. Like, I don't mind having a lot of like very hard to find secrets. I just don't know if I want to put an achievement for them. That's the thing that I'm not entirely sure of. But like I said, this could change. I might change my mind. I think obscure achievements are meant for off-game engagement. You mean like as in to promote discussion and so on about the game? Can you make achievement name known but description unknown? I'm very new to Steam, recently got partnered. Yes, you can. The name of the achievement is mandatory, but the description is optional. So you could just do like and even if you do a description, you could make it just not explain what you have to do, right? Like, if you want a properly hidden achievement, then all you really have to do is like not give away any hints in the icon, name, nor description, and you know, without like data mining or whatever, there's not really gonna be a way to figure it out very easily. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I was thinking about potentially doing an achievement for doing this. Maybe. Could I make a good icon for it? Let me see. Just out of curiosity. I don't know if I... I don't want to do this. That's gonna look weird. But then do I need this to be... this could work. Oh, but then the next one here is gonna line up here, and we have double pixels again, which I'm not a huge fan of. So then I would have to make this 3 pixels, and that's gonna look bad. Now the size varies, which is a little bit odd. Kinda looks like a weird form of a smiley somehow. Do you know what I mean? We'll see. I'm gonna save that icon as a little reminder for the possibility of an achievement here. But we'll see, we'll see. I think that's pretty nice though, being able to drag these. That's a bit odd though. I don't actually check for if stuff is interactable. Which I do for the other keys, do I? Yeah, those I cannot click. But did I check that? On keyboard, do I check? Oh, I do. If it's not gameplay, return. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing here. On pointer, enter. If it's not gameplay, return. I wish I saw the process of you drawing the keyboard. The actual piano one. You can probably find it. Now, I haven't been very up to date lately. I actually need to get back on this, but I do post all of my VODs on YouTube. So, you know, if we go in here, you should be able to find the stream when we started working on the piano. So you can see when I first started playing around with the like small object of the piano, which one we wanted to do. As well as when we started drawing the keys. I'm gonna snooze this ad last second, but I managed to do it. There's a link to the VOD channel if anyone wants to check it out. If you ever miss a stream, it's a good place to catch up, see what was going on. It's a stretched skull. Because the actual keys are painfully not symmetrical. Do you mean on a piano? Yeah, it is a interesting layout. And ironically, a lot of games actually don't do it correctly. Like, I think it's even a little bit of a meme that you will see like pianos in games with like completely wrong layouts mainly in terms of where you put the black keys, right? It's not you can actually mirror most of them. Yeah, so I did it... How did I do it? This way. I use 3 keys. Because you never actually have a straight, like... No, wait, is that true? Yeah, every key technically always connects to at least 1 black key. Which is then you just skip one here where it's this one flipped on the other side. But these were basically the keys I needed. So it's the one with only 1 black key next to it, and the ones with 2, and then of course the black key itself. Now, ironically, all of my keys are kind of black, right? Because I don't have that many colors to play around with. I just decided to do the outline on this one a little bit darker. I think it works. But the same bellies of the white keys are not the same width on an actual keyboard. Oh, I see. Might be something I need to look into, because mine are. Okay. So now I can play like so, but if I click back, then I can't play it. Yeah, good. That feels good. Should we do another commit? Maybe do a little override here as well. Piano... dragging thingy, sure. I did a hitboxes too, but oh well. Okay, so far so good. What else? What else can we do? We could do the TV. Should see if we can come up with some new puzzle. That's the main thing I actually need to do. Come up with more puzzles. Definitely have I need like a handful more proper puzzles. I don't know about this room. Whether I should change the door or whether I should just remove it. The annoying thing about removing it is that I don't have anywhere else to put the... What do you call this? Coat hanger? Coat rack? Whatever. Because once you see it, you cannot unsee it, and it would probably be quite impossible considering your pixel resolution. I probably could get closer to it though. But I posted a picture on Discord, let me check it out. Ah, I see. Yeah, it keeps the same... Oh, so what they do is that they keep the same width on the upper part of the white keys, on all of them. Which basically means that these have to be a bit non-centered. Interesting, I have never thought about that. Well, I don't do this either, because this one stretches the white keys, but I never thought about the space in between the black keys. I did neither of these. I have the white keys like this, but I have all of the black keys centered. That's not the spacing though, it's like this. That's how I've done it. How many pixels do I have here? 1, 2, 6 pixels. I have 3 here. Wait, I think I could do it. Does that mean that the... I think my black keys then are a little bit thin compared to what they should be. I think I could do it. Black key is like maybe half a white key-ish. And that looks kinda right. It would probably be a cotangent since I think a rat would be screwed onto the wall. Oh yeah, I think that's true. What's up, gamedevable? Welcome in, man. Sorry guys, we do have some ads running. Oh no, I've opened Pandora's box. You have indeed. So what I probably could do is to push this 1 pixel here. No, I would take this, push it 1 pixel over here, then go boom. No, but then wait, because this one needs to get wider. So what I actually would have to do is something like this. I grab this and I move you over here. Now this is 5 pixels, and this is 4 pixels. Ironically, it actually is going to line up. Like, I could do this correctly. Because now, if I grab this... let's see, let's remove this one, right? And then we flip this. I put you here. No, the issue is the one, the middle one. Yeah, which is that one. You fucking Dumbo. So all I would have to do here is to push this 1 pixel away here, and then boom. Now, the width of each one of these is the same. And, oh no, does this line up when I put 2 of the center or double ones in the middle though? I guess that's the real question, isn't it? So if I copy this and I place you here, now that becomes an issue, doesn't it? They don't flip, these do, right? But it's the middle one that becomes the issue. Because I need another one of those. And now that one is not gonna be right. Oh, is that because this one... Or is this right? No. So that one's too tight now instead. Oh, because the middle ones don't flip. They are not the same. I think that's what you're saying. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so there's 2 variants, but these 2 are flipped. Okay, I see. So what I need to do here is that this one needs to go back 1 pixel. And this one needs to go back 1 pixel. Now you're centered. No, because now I don't have the same width here, do I? Or am I... No, now those are 1 smaller. Shit. Maybe I can't do it. It's probably closer though. Because I can't push this one in either, because now you're too thin here. Because all of these have to be the same size as well. Which means I can't add another one here. I do suppose this might be the closest I could get to. So yeah, it would require me to add a few more. Basically, this one would turn into 2 different sprites that I flip. Play this on the piano. D2, E2, C2, C1, G1. Do you know it? Don't think so. You're not rickrolling me, right? I've already been rickrolled by my piano. Play Furelise. I never remember where Furelise starts. I know the, like, you know, how you play the first 2 keys or whatever. That's all I know though, so it's not impressive whatsoever. I never remember where it actually is. I think it's something like... It's something like that, right? Or is it the opposite? No. No, it's this, right? I don't know where it actually is. Wait, C2? Do I even have that one? I don't think I do. Wait, which... I don't remember which fucking octaves I got here. Do I have C2? No. Do I not... Did we not do like C2, C3 or... to C4? C2 to C4? Is that what I did? I think so. Wait. D, E, C, C1, G1. I don't remember the order here. Wait, am I doing this wrong way? 1, 2, I think I am. So it would be... No, that's A. What? Is this glassbilen? But I think I'm fucking it up. The marked C is C2. Okay. Which means this must be C1 in that case. I don't know, did we not do C2 to C4? I don't remember. I don't know enough music theory. I might redo this room at some point, I'm not sure. I don't think I should do the same sprite for the door at the very least, because if we go to the outside entrance, it is quite literally the same exact door, and I think that confuses people a little bit. Let me actually check what I have in my notes. And as well as what I could do on stream, because I think some of these might be a little bit spoilery. I do have to get out of here relatively soon, but let's see if there's something else small we could potentially fix. Oh, I still need to fix the notes thingy, but I have no idea how to do that with the whole extra line or whatever. Slight little bug. I do need to update my screenshots on Steam soon. I also have a few more rooms I need to decorate. Close encounters of the third kind. I just use numbers to show the changing octaves. But that is how you do it, right? I think they are. It is literally called C1 and C2, etc. Isn't it like C1 to C5 on a full-scale piano? I also have a few rooms where I think it would be nice to... Whoops, that's a bug. To potentially put some more items and puzzles in. And some rooms that are just a little bit too empty as of right now. This one I think is a bit boring. There's not a lot going in here. Kinda same thing in here. That turned out pretty good though, I'm quite happy with that one. I think that's a lot better. I'm still mad at when I got a lamp and I broke it right after. Classic. Yeah, we'll see. It's possible that I might actually change that. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep light bulbs in the game. I think there's some issues with the light bulbs. Also, Golden Boy, thank you for the follow. I completely missed that one, but appreciate ya. Don't change that. I might, because I think there's a bit of an issue right now, which is the fact that people expect this to be a puzzle, which I think is bad, because what ends up happening when people do that is that they get stuck somewhere, they see, oh, I have a flashlight, and they go, oh shit, now I remember there was a room or two where there was no light, so maybe if I put a light bulb in, now I can finally progress, and then nothing happens except the fact that you have a little bit more light. Like, that's the only thing that I potentially find as a bit of an issue on it. Makes the game much more real and relatable. I think that is a fair argument as well. However, I don't know which one to value most, because the issue is something that I realized that I didn't think of whatsoever at first. Is the fact that when people play a puzzle game, they expect things to be related to puzzles. Like, this is, in terms of gameplay, it is mainly a puzzle game. And unfortunately, that does kind of mean that any item I give to the player, they will kind of naturally think is a piece of a puzzle. I have noticed quite a few people react on that. So I don't know. I'm not entirely decided yet, but it is possible that I might scrap it. I don't know if I should still allow people to smash the light bulbs, just the good thing there is that the game is never not playable. However, it's certainly a bit annoying if someone for fun smashes all the light bulbs in the game and then they barely see anything. At the same time, you could argue that that's kinda on them, but I don't know. I just said because I thought I needed to restart, yeah. Yeah, which means that in that case, if you thought you had to restart, that basically means the same thing, right? That you thought it was part of the puzzle, which it isn't whatsoever. But I think it's natural when people play puzzle games that they expect things to be a part of a puzzle. At least to have some meaning. I mean, I think like lore items are kind of fine. But especially when people get stuck, it's a little bit annoying to see them think of the light bulb and go, oh, now I finally know what to do. And then it kind of becomes... It seems like they almost feel a little bit bad then when they actually change the light bulb and there's like no reward whatsoever, except for a bit more light, I suppose. We could do the background for the TV. I think that could be nice. I don't know whether to do it straight on the sprite. Could have more lamps and people not be so worried. I finished the game with a lot of batteries. Yeah, but the batteries have also been scrapped. So you don't need those either anymore. There's no more batteries in the game. But instead we have collectible items, which don't really have a purpose either, but they're collectible. So they kinda explain the purpose themselves, I suppose. Finished the game with so many batteries I did power up a Tesla. Yeah, I think a lot of people did it. It's that thing where people naturally want to save stuff for later, which is, you know, obviously part of the reason as to why I removed them. Because, like, the end result of having batteries, which one of the reasons I wanted was also the kind of thing that you mentioned, Fuzzlings, like it makes it feel a bit more real, it feels a bit deeper. The main thing, to be fair, was just to have more items to collect. That's why I changed them out for collectibles instead. But the issue I found is that the actual result of the battery system was that the majority of people play the game with shit light, which is even on low battery, they rather want to save the batteries for later in case they need them. Which means that the game just looked way more dark than it was ever meant to. Because the reason, ironically, why you had so many batteries in the end is that I thought to make people not feel like they're wasting batteries, I'll just give them a bunch so that they want to... Because I know that if you only have one battery in your backpack, you might want to save it for later. But I thought, if you have like 5 batteries in your backpack, you probably don't mind changing it. But, you know, to my surprise, a lot of people still didn't. And this is by no means me complaining either. I think this makes sense. Like, I think it's like natural to humans to want to save things for a better time and so on. But yeah, I don't know if it made for the greatest gameplay. Like, it didn't... I think it kinda had more disadvantages on gameplay than it had advantages. Especially, as I said, since the main thing I wanted to do was just to have more items in the house. What's the purpose of having the battery system for the flashlight? Yeah, like I said, it's... I mean, partly because just to have, like, feature creep, just to have another... something that made it feel a little bit deeper. But the main reason I liked the battery system was to have more items in the house. Because if you play the early version of the demo with the batteries, you might have realized that like half the items you found in the house were batteries. Because what I realized as a developer is that it's very convenient for me to have a consumable item to like throw around the house as little rewards for looking around. Because it is kind of boring when you search through multiple cabinets and there's nothing in them, which even if you can't pick something up, there should be something in here, so that's something I should fix. But like if the majority of the cabinets you open just don't have anything of value, that gets a little bit boring. So it was very convenient for me to just throw some batteries in as little rewards for looking around. But what I realized later is that if the main thing I want is to have more items, then that still doesn't justify an entire system that that basically introduces other issues. So what I realized instead is that I'm basically just looking for a collectible item. So that's what I did. I changed the batteries into a collectible item that you pick up for the sake of collecting. You get an achievement if you get them all. And that's really the end of it. So now the flashlight always has the same amount of battery, the same light. I technically still have the battery system in here, it just never drains. The irony though is that this keeps changing more stuff to the point where now there's not really any reason to turn off and on the flashlights. Like before, like the reason to turn off the flashlight, mainly in the demo as of now, was to save batteries. Now when we don't have the battery system, you could even argue that it's unnecessary to even be able to toggle the flashlight, because it doesn't actually affect the game in any way. It's a hard game too, so it made sense to save it for later. Maybe when the monster comes after you, was what I thought. Yeah, and I think that is a natural thought to have. I mean, clearly, because the vast majority of people did it that way. Like, most people did not charge the flashlight, even at the lowest battery level. Abuse that lesson, make an item that is actually good to have many of at the end harvester, yeah. I also asked myself if this function actually adds to the game. Yeah, does it make the game better, or is it only an inside joke that no one will get? Yeah, I think that's fair too. And I think, like, the irony is that the battery system did make the game better. Because I still think there's an argument that having a bunch of batteries to pick up and find that actually have use is a good thing. But the batteries, like the flashlight draining battery system itself, introduced a bunch of other issues that was very hard to deal with. So it's one of them where, you know, I had to look more at what I actually wanted, and the main thing I wanted was more items, so it just made more sense to have a collectible item. Can you force users to use batteries unless they do something first? Well, it's tricky, because the only way to really force someone to charge the flashlight is to have a, like, actual punishment for draining the battery. And that gets a little bit tricky. The first thing you can do is to have a game over state. Like, you die. If you run out of battery and you're in a dark room, you're dead, right? The issue now is that this is a puzzle game. People are gonna take different amounts of time. And now you can calculate the minimum amount of time that you have to complete the game in. Because, you know, the flashlight draining time times amount of batteries in the house is equal to the time you must complete the game in. It also introduces certain soft locks where you might die and then restart with low battery, and there's not enough batteries around you so that you will inevitably die over and over again. The only fix to that is to kind of either add a stash of batteries somewhere where you can find an infinite amount, but at that point it feels a little bit like, then what's the point of it? Now it just feels like a time waste in some regard. And the other option is to, like, randomly spawn in more items, which I think made sense in, like, an open world game or something, where like the world is a lot bigger. But for a small area like this, I feel like it would be very strange to search through a cabinet, take everything, and then 20 minutes later you get back here and you find a battery in here. Like, that would feel odd for me. So I think there was one of those where I didn't find really any solution that fixed all the issues I had without, at least without introducing any new issues. So it felt like overall, it felt better to just scrap it. You ever played Skip and Schizo, Magnus or Mugen? I don't think so. Maybe you can collect batteries to power a big object, that way you're still collecting batteries which feel good, yet it has a quest purpose. Yeah, that I think makes more sense. Like, it's certainly possible that I supposed to reintroduce the batteries, but as an actual puzzle piece, rather than for, like, the... Because I still have the batteries in the game as well. I haven't even removed them from the rooms, I think. Like, if you would look inside of the cabinets, in the editor, you still find batteries. I just made them automatically deactivate in Awake. I think you should have a small look into that game as research. Some of your game even looks like it in some abstract way. Let me have a look. What did you say? Skipper and Schizo. Is it a point-and-click game as well? Doesn't seem to be on Steam. Yes, you can. Oh, is it on Steam? Magnus och Mugen.
Kom nu! Hvor bliver du af, Magnus? Pas på, der kommer nogen. Vi gemmer os.
Der kommer nogen. 325, okay. This is the second one, which has a mechanic, so every time you move to another room, it drains your candle. Oh. Oh, they had a clock puzzle as well.
Kæmpe slot. Ja, må ikke. Hvor må vi skal finde skatten?
Hvor mon skal vi finde skatten?
Det ved jeg ikke, men jeg ved, at vi har travlt.
Ja, velkommen til Let's Play Magnus og Myggen. Jeg hedder Asger, og jeg er din...
So this is the channel. Oh wait, I'm covering it. I assume this is the one you're talking about.
Det her, det er, som sagt, Magnus og Myggen 2, den store skattejagt. Det er et point-and-click gyserspil.
Oh, it was all cutscene before this.
Magnus og Myggen. Det synes jeg gør det lidt interessant.
I only understand like half of what he's saying, just so we're on the same page here.
Først og fremmest, så vil jeg forklare lidt om, hvordan spillet virker. Vi har en loop her, som vi bruger til at kigge nærmere på tingene.
Det er en æske tændstikker.
Og udover det, så kan vi finde...
Oh, that's interesting. So there's actually an item to inspect stuff. I don't know if I've seen that before.
Har vi, som Skumlesen sagde, så har vi kun en time. Og tiden virker ved, at hver eneste gang vi går ind i et nyt rum, så går der en minut. Det vil sige, at vi kan gå ind...
So how does this work?
Og så er spillet slut.
Oh well, he found matches, so I assume in this case, because this was 10 sticker, so it's matches. So I assume that the matches are pretty much the... Are those like the batteries in my case? Is that how that works? Drains every time you interact, I think leave a room. I'm not actually arguing for you to watch, it's just the fact of the channel in this hallway. Oh yeah, the hallway is kind of similar too. Fair point. Very popular in Denmark, especially the first and second one. I don't know if I've ever seen this. So do you see does the sprite change? Oh wait, is he covering this here? Interesting. Oh yeah, here you can see the... I mean, you barely can, but here you can see the light being way lower. Okay, so they have some similar system. The main hallway, I think, is a kind of classic one in general. I've heard people say that it reminded them of... Is it Resident Evil 1? Main hall thingy? Obviously a very different style and stuff, but... Is it this one? Is one of these. It's a nice thing to have though. I like the fact that it's one of the few rooms I have that break up the symmetry of all the rooms, right? Because otherwise the vast majority have the same exact structure, as in like size, etc. Like some of the only few rooms I have which break that is the main hall, as well as the small corridor here. Otherwise, almost every room is like the same size. Like blueprints. Oh, interesting. I still want to play that. It seems very interesting. I'm not jealous of the fact that that man had to balance a randomly generated puzzle game. That seems pretty fucking harsh, man. Like, I have enough issues trying to balance the difficulty in a linear puzzle game, or at least semi-linear. Trying to balance something like that in something that's, like, I think mostly randomly generated seems like a challenge and a half. Grandfather clock as well. You know, I'm going for all the tropes here. I also have a bust in my game. In here. That's supposed to be a bust at least. I don't know how well it reads. I think it reads. There's definitely a few of those tropes. I feel like having a bigger hall as well as like a grandfather clock seems like such... It is a little bit... Even especially in point and click games, I do think it is a little bit of a trope. Like almost every point and click game I have played has had a clock puzzle at some point. But I don't really care too much. Like, I also just think that I'm a little bit of a watch nerd. Maybe not grandfather clocks in general, but... So I just think it's fun having a clock as well. And it makes sense for a puzzle, right? That really is one of the big things. I need to think of way more puzzles. Which is something I've been saying for some time. I actually think we'd get into the point where it would be pretty good for me to actually do some more research streams, play through some more point and click games, so that we can get some more inspiration. Because I do want to make sure that my puzzles don't get... Like, it's easy to think of a lot of ideas, but you want them to feel unique. I don't mean that like no other game should have a similar puzzle. More so in the sense of that like the puzzles that are in my game should feel distinctive. Like it shouldn't feel like you're doing the same thing over and over again. Like the... what I mentioned before, like if every puzzle in the game was to find a key to unlock a door, like literally find a key, unlock the door, that would get very boring after a while, right? Same thing with, like, you know, the safe requires you to find a certain enough amount of numbers. So that made me go, I don't know if I want to have that many, like, more number puzzles. So, you know, the locked box we have, although it is the same type of puzzle, like you need to find a combination, I just changed it to letters to get a little bit more variety. But that's what I mean, like, now I have two like straight up enter the correct combination. Like, I don't feel like I can do more of those, because it's gonna get boring if every puzzle is like, I just need to find the sequence of numbers or letters, if you know what I mean. I would have proposed to check for puzzles in genres other than point and click, actually. Yeah, that is probably a fair point. Otherwise you end up with games the very same as the very rest of the genre, yeah. Especially where point and click is pretty niche. Yeah, I do think you have a point. I think just puzzle games in general would be quite good for me to play, but it depends, right? Like, I still need something that is similar enough to my game. Because there are some where, at least so far, I know some people have said this might change. But like, I've been playing Grim Fandango, which is another point-and-click game. So far, I haven't found a lot of similarities between that game and my game. I think we do things very differently, to the point where I do enjoy the game and I do want to play it. I don't know how valuable it is in terms of research, if that makes sense. Whereas you have other games like Resident Evil 2, which I have taken kind of a surprising amount of ideas from. Like, basically, my entire map is based on the map you have in Resident Evil 2. With like the, you know, you have the layout, you see where you are, you progressively or successively unlock more rooms on the map, and you have these little markers that you can inspect. Which is something you need to fix at some point, actually. The hitboxes for these are way too small. I think I need to be a lot kinder for the hitboxes. So they basically show any potential interesting items. So if you've walked up to the clock, you'll now see where the clock is on the map. You can see where the TV is, etc. You can see any closed doors you've interacted with, like I showed here. It's actually quite useful. Kind of works slightly as a hint system as well sometimes. But I also just think it's good because it makes it so that the game feels a little bit less overwhelming, because the player is actually not required to constantly have everything in their mind. If you know what I mean? Like, the map kind of remembers some things for you. Was it also Silent Hill that had a piano puzzle? Maybe, I haven't played Silent Hill. But piano puzzles are also fairly common. Like, there are some of these things that are, in general, quite common. I think grandfather clocks, that's something you find in Resident Evil as well, I think. Even though, you know, not a point-and-click game. Piano puzzles is found in... I have seen piano puzzles in other point-and-click games. There's also one, which is surprisingly common. I don't know what that one is called. There's a puzzle, which I have seen in almost every point-and-click game I have played so far. At least conventional ones. Which is this thing where you have like... You have like a few spaces. Something like this. And then there's a little thing going up here with one space. And then you basically have like... I think you have like 4 things here. And 4 things here. And now what you have to do is to move all of these to this side and all of these to that side. With like this exact layout I have seen in... I know Rusty Lake has it in one of their games. I know one of the Forgotten Hill games have this one as well. And it's some like whatever, like you have to move this one. You have to grab like this one, move it here. And then you might grab like this one and you move it here. Now you can move... I guess I should have moved the other one. That one up there, so... Now I can take this one and move here. That's probably an issue. That might not be what I want to do. Do I want to move this one over here? Now I can move... maybe move that one down here. I like how I accidentally started solving this puzzle. How the fuck do I do this? Oh wait, you can also stop them in between. So what you can actually do is... move one there. I can actually move all of these 3 over here, right? And then I move this one up, move that one up as well. Did I move that one? I did move that one. Move that one back over here. This one back over here. I'm so fucking this up, but... I need to get rid of those. I move you here. Yeah, and then I move you here and the other one here. So now I can get that one here. I can move you up here. I'm gonna put you there. Go with you over here, so I can put you here. I can push this one over here, push this one over here. You go here. And finally you go here. Some shit like that, right? I don't know why I actually ended up solving this puzzle. That was not the point. It was not the point, but I accidentally solved it. But this exact puzzle I've seen in multiple games, which is one of them things where it kinda makes me go a little bit, I don't know if I would like to have the same one in mine. However, I think the thing that's important to note as well is that... like, getting ideas for puzzles from other puzzle games doesn't necessarily mean having the same exact puzzle, right? Like, it could just be the inspiration for the puzzle. As in, like, the idea behind the puzzle or whatever. Like, it doesn't have to be the actual mechanics or so. Soccer buns? Oh, is that what they're called? Oh yeah, that's the pushing thing. I guess this is a... because I know of soccer buns, I didn't think... yeah, I suppose it is. Is that as broad as just like having to push things to the right position? Well, is a sliding puzzle with soccer bun then? Like the normal, like, you know, 8 squares out of 9 and you have to move them correctly. Which also is another point and click trope. A lot of point and click games have like actual sliding puzzles in them. Yeah, just thinking that even if it's not the same genre, they could be to get good ideas. Maybe even more fresh ideas than playing the same genre as your game. Yeah, I think that is a fair point. If you just do the same... with different graphics, you end up with generic stuff, but J Blow does Soccer Bun for years at this point, and they're quite different and have so much more depth. Lion, welcome in, man. How you doing? Is going to be a puzzle module, so you're working on the game. I've been doing some small tweaks today all over the place. Just small little graphics updates, added some background here to the clock, which that one I did completely rework the puzzle for. We also improved the animation for the safe, which I had already opened. We just made a game in A-Sprite, as you can see. Yeah, true. How you doing, Lion? Meow Literary, welcome in, man. There's probably push puzzles in loads of early PlayStation games, such as Tomb Raiders. Yeah. Now, and I think to some extent... I think it's silly to say that I'm gonna only have like completely original puzzles. That's quite a fucking high bar to put. Like, obviously there's gonna be, like, most of my puzzles are gonna have some similarity to another puzzle that's been made, right? But it's maybe about like not falling for all the tropes. Like if I would make a game with only like the... you know, the classic puzzles you find in every point-and-click game, that would probably be bad. I do have some of them, like, I know, I'm very well aware that I have a few kinda trope puzzles for the genre, but I don't think that's the end of the world. Yeah, we made a new animation here when you unlock the safe. You actually, rather than going your way and just opening the small safe, we have a full-on animation and then we stay in the close-up scene, so it goes boom. And then we'll have like the more high-res, that's an ironic statement in this game. It's gonna be more high-res items in here. I think that's gonna look a lot better. Feels more consistent with my other close-up puzzles. There's no other puzzle where I force the player to walk away and then open the small version. So I wanted to tweak that as well. Add a butler that follows you around with a metal tray. Everything's okay with me, working at full speed on my game too, currently writing the script for scene 54 and sketching the layout of the level on paper now. Nice, man. Code Rad, how you doing, man? Good to have ya. Gotta have some trope puzzles to get people acclimated to the game. Yeah, maybe a fair point. Hope you're doing well, man. Yet another game developer on Twitch.tv. In case you're unaware, if you've been living under a rock, go and check out Code Rad. Currently working on Roguelite. Really fun Souls-like roguelite demo out right now. Go and check it out, people. Yeah, in a game with puzzle variety, all the puzzles need to be accessible for a first timer, because that might be the first time you are meeting such kind of a puzzle, yeah. Bit different than a completely puzzle game, yeah. No, I think that is fair, because it is possible that someone might start playing this game, not because they want to play a puzzle game, but because they want to play like a horror-themed game. And that's one of the reasons why I tend to say that I think it might be better for me to lean slightly towards the puzzles being too easy rather than too hard. Like, if this was a full-on puzzle game only, I think it would be better to lean slightly towards the puzzles being too difficult. But we'll see, we might end up having a few difficult puzzles too, no promises. But it's fairly likely. But yeah, I do think that saying that every puzzle in the game is going to be unique is definitely a bar that's too high. Like, I don't think it's realistic to expect that. Probably not as a player and neither as a developer. Like, it kind of understates how difficult it is to do something completely original. Like, even games that break the stereotype or that are fundamentally quite unique, you will always find similarities with other games, right? So, but there's also the difference, right? Like, there's a difference between copying a puzzle from another game and being inspired by a puzzle from another game, right? Like, you can still try to make it more original, even though it might be similar in the, like, underlying logic or whatever. Or maybe it's even the logic that you might make a similar puzzle visually, but you tweak the logic a little bit, etc, etc. There's multiple ways of doing it, right? However, ladies and gentlemen, I do think I need to get out of here. But please stick around and let's see if we can find someone to throw a little raid at today. As always, thank you guys for hanging out. Quite a productive day today. This safe is something I've been wanting to tweet for quite some time, so happy to finally do it. We'll see, maybe potentially next stream, Friday, we might do some research, maybe look at some other puzzle games or something. No promises, but we'll see. I think that's a good approach, I think so too. GG's indeed. Soul Story Red Cabin in Irish John Online. Well, look at that, I ride right at the end. Sorry about that one, Lion, but yeah, I do need to get out of here. I've actually been, as some of you might have noticed, my streams have been a little bit shorter recently, but I've been having a bit of an issue where we have some workers around here at the minute. So I can't stream my usual. I can't start as early as I usually do. But that will change soon. I think probably next week we will be back as per usual. We could go to Sorceress Story. I think it was a little while since we raided her. Who else do we? I had quite a lot of people on. Yeah, let's go to Sorceress Story. I think it was a little while since I raided her. Yet another game developer, Tuga as well, that's true. Thanks for the stream, no worries man, it was a pleasure, it was nice to have you here guys, as always. Of course, if anyone hasn't, make sure to go and check out the demo on Steam. It would mean a lot to me. Make sure to wishlist the game, review the demo, all of that good stuff. If you want to connect more with the community, go ahead and join the Discord. This is bad timing. Camarão Lendario with the raid coming in. How you doing, man? Bem-vindo. Very much appreciate ya. I am getting out of here as well, unfortunately. But we're gonna do a fucking double raid. That's what we're gonna do. Still need to do that Steam review. Damn, no worries, Codin. But yeah, I would appreciate a lot. Ben Lurchin, thanks for the stream and shopping. No worries, man. Conrad, good to see ya. For anyone coming in from Camarão, if you don't know me, I go by Mad Sharpie, and I am currently working on a point-and-click horror game called Shroud of Gloom. You know what? Before we get out of here, here's a little trailer for you. Check it out. There we have it. Demo is out on Steam, so check it out. Also a big shout out to Camarão, yet another game developer here on Twitch. Go and check him out if you haven't. Do you have anything to share before we head out of here? Camarão, anything you want to share? Love it, will buy it. Dark Muppeteer, thank you for hanging out as always. Truly do appreciate you guys hanging out. Should we do a special raid message? Soon I have a new build on itch. Ooh, let's go, man. Feel free to link the itch page if you want. You still have it up, right? Share your work in the Discord, brother. Yes, people, feel free to share whatever you're working on in the Discord. Always fun to see what other people are doing. But yeah, we're gonna head on over to none other than Sorceress Story, yet another Tuga. And say hello. So you know what? Instead of doing the chirpy raid, let's do Frango I Camarão. Shit, let me not misspell this. Raid. Here you go. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the that is the raid message. Chicken and shrimp raid. That is what we're gonna do. So make sure to send that message. Yeah, feel free to add caralho if you want to. Only download tomorrow after my stream though. Okay. Nem, thank you for hanging out too. Are they Portuguese too? They are indeed. They are Portuguese, so it makes total sense. I will be back on Friday as per usual, people. As always, thank you for hanging out. Make sure to throw that Frango i Camarao raid, and I will see you guys on Friday. Until then, have a great one. Thank you for hanging out. Cheers.